Hey, so let me show you this really cool trick where you can take any 2D image and create a neon abstract pattern out of it. So let's just go and open up a new Blender file here and just go A and X and delete everything. Then we can jump into top view. And the first thing that we are going to do is go Shift A and then go to image and then mesh plane. So you might have to play around with some images, but surprisingly a lot of these are working really nice with this neon abstract technique that I'm going to show you. So when you pick your image, you can go to material tool here and we can set this to emission. So we have some more bright colors when we bring it into Blender. Then we can go import images as plane. Now we can just scale up this plane 7 times, and we can also bring in a camera and just set the camera to view like that. And we also want to just change the mode here from solid mode into render mode like that. Okay, so now that we have our image in Blender, we are going to do a little bit weird thing here, and that is to go down to material tool properties. So just click here, and then we are going to delete our image. So now we have the correct size of the image, and we are going to bring in the image into the node setup instead. But before we do that, we need to activate this bloom effect in Blender. So let's just go to the compositor here and click use nodes. And then we're just going to drop in a glare node between these two. Let's change this glare into bloom, and we want this to be at a higher quality as well. And make sure that you are in render mode here so you can see the bloom effect. And you also want to click on this little drop down symbol here and set this to always so we can see the bloom effect in real time. Now what we can do is jump into the shader editor and then create a new material tool. So the first thing that we are going to do is just delete this principal BSDF. And by the way, this little node setup here is really nice to know, because you can play around with it and do all kinds of stuff. And it's also not too big, so people will actually be able to remember it. So that's good. So let's start off with going Shift A and bring in a mix shader node. And the first two nodes that we are going to bring in is an emission node and a transparent node. So now we can just connect the transparent into the bottom here of the mix shader and the emission into the shader like that. So what we also can do is go into the material properties here, and we want to set this render method to blended like that. Now we can bring in a color ramp for the contrast into the factor of the mix shader. And we also want to use a Voronoi texture node and a noise texture. And this noise texture here, we can change from 3D into 4D, so we can animate later on this double view value. So now we can just connect the factor into the vector of the Voronoi and the Voronoi distance into the factor of the color ramp like that. So let's bring in the contrast here. Just bring in these black and white values to somewhere around here. And now we can bring in our image for the second time. So let's go Shift A and search for image. Then just open this up and bring in the image that you had in the beginning. We're just going to connect the color into the color of the emission here. So now we can set the strength to about 3. And already this looks a little bit cool. So from here is a bunch of stuff we can do to play around with this effect here. So just go a little bit crazy and try out stuff. But we can also go into the compositor here. And if we play around with this mixer, we can see that something is happening. Maybe something like that. And if we go back into the shader editor, play around with the scale, we suddenly have something really cool going on here. So a little bit back and forth, you need to play around a little bit with these values to get this right. And if you want to animate this effect, I'm going to show you real quick how we can do that. So just bringing in a timeline here. And we can just go to the double view of this noise texture and go hash and then frame divided by a certain number. So if you set this number to a high number, the animation will move slower. If you set it to a lower amount, the animation will move faster. So let's just go with 500 here. And now we have this animation thing. And you also might, yeah, as I said, it's a good thing to just play around with all of these, this color ramp value and the scale here. And yeah, the detail, you can play around with that. And suddenly you have this really cool thing. So just a bunch of cool stuff here. And yeah, if you can like and subscribe, that would be great. And have a great day and peace out.